Yeah, I guess, Coach, first of all, just what have been the most productive or beneficial things of having these extra practices? Not only as you get ready for Puerto Rico, but just a new group getting things going.
Yeah, I think it's been awesome timing for us to just have the ability. You get 10 practices over the course of the summer, so we've kind of spread them out like one a week. But it gives you almost a whole day that you can work on, whether it be defensive install, offensive install, terminology things that when you got basically a brand new roster, so there's so many things you got to cover, and that for the timing for us to have it this first summer, I thought it has been a tremendous benefit for us. And then getting to play the 3 games in Puerto Rico, you don't treat them like you would, a regular season game. So, but it's still the opportunity to get out and play and get a feel for, how guys react to opponents that, aren't in the same jerseys that we've been going against for 8 straight weeks. So, but it's been really a nice luxury for us to have.
Yeah, Coach. Tucker said that's kind of followed you throughout your career, and he's been at your practices, obviously, as a player, but way before that too. But the energy level, getting student managers to sort of, the clapping and the chants, and sort of trying to develop those organically. Why has that been a focus? What do you think is important about that? And why has that kind of been an emphasis of yours, obviously, throughout your career?
Yeah, we just think that it's from June all the way until the end of the season. Like it's a long year. We think you got to approach it every day with some energy and enthusiasm. That allows guys, because guys are going to get tired. Allows other guys to pick you up on those days, and so we put a huge emphasis on that. I think creating that type of talk and energy on a daily basis leads to productivity on the floor too. And then the pace that we practice, we try to really kind of simulate, how we want to play out on the game day floor. So everything we do, there's not a lot of downtime, not a lot of extra talking. We want to, play fast, play aggressive, and keep things moving. So we don't, typically, like even now we're a little restricted on hours in the summer, even with our, practice time. But as it gets into the fall, even we'll still try to make it really efficient in what we do and utilizing our time.
When we talked last month, you mentioned rebounding and turnovers as kind of the staples of what you want to do. I mean, now that you've had, I think, 6, 7, 8 weeks working with these guys, what kind of progress have you seen in those areas, and just in terms of buy-in and execution? Yeah,
the turnover part's that's come along better than the rebounding part, so far. So I think a lot of it, and you'll touch on this, maybe later too. But when you have multiple guys, they're all coming from different programs, and they've all been taught different ways to do things, because there are a lot of different ways to do things. So you're trying to get everybody to relearn how we want to do it, and that just takes time. There's a process that is involved there. The turnovers, though, I think the guys have done a really good job of. Like yesterday, we chart all of our live 5-on-5 stuff, and we had 18 assists to 2 turnovers. I would like to, replicate that every day, but that's something that in June that would have been maybe flip-flopped. So they've done a really nice job with that, learning how to play off of 2 feet, making the extra pass, those type of things. Then the rebounding thing, again, it's creating habits, making sure we make contact on every shot that goes up and have some physicality to what we do there. Again, just creating those habits on a daily basis, and we still have time to do that, and we're going to continue to focus on that. But that's going to be a huge priority for us, and we know we're going to need to be a good defensive rebounding team for us to win games.
First, Coach, thank you again for doing this, putting this on. It means a lot to all of us to give this information to Indiana basketball fans. I know they're going to enjoy it as well. And watching that practice, you could see that the energy level, doesn't matter if it's offense or defense, is locked in. How did you get them to that level that fast and that successfully? I know it's not perfect, but they look pretty good on offense at times.
Yeah, I think the guys have really picked up. I think we're further along on the offensive end than the defensive end right now, and I think a part of that is just because you have, some guys maybe were, up the line denying, and other guys were way back in, a drop coverage or up in hedging, like just a lot of different things. So those are things that, we're working through. But I think the guys have been awesome to work with this summer. They've done a great job of just being receptive to coaching. They're all trying to do what we ask, and that's all we ask of them. They're not going to be perfect. We don't expect them to be perfect. But the progress they've made from June until now has been really good. I've been really happy with it, and I think they're going to continue to do that because I think they want to. And they got great togetherness. They got great energy, enthusiasm, as you saw today. They really share the ball well, and then we have the ability to make shots from a lot of different places.
On culture, you kind of said a lot that you really emphasize just trying to create that brand here. Are you, pleased with what you've gotten out of that, roster here as far as culture and all that type of stuff?
Yeah, I like I said, I think this group has been great. We're 2 months into it, but they've been terrific in terms of their approach every day. They come with a smile on their face. They bring great energy. What you saw today has been, every day these last couple of months. They come with that type of energy, enthusiasm. Their voices are heard. We want a loud gym, and that's something I think they've done a great job of responding to and bringing every day. So, I like the potential of this group, and they'll continue to work, which they have. I think there's certainly some possibilities there on what this group can achieve.
Coach, Ryan Horn has been with you for a while now. What makes him a good fit for your program? What does he bring that you like?
Yeah, what I love about Coach Horn is he relates well with the guys. I think he brings, again, another guy that brings great energy and enthusiasm. He's a huge extension of our coaching staff, and he spends a lot of time with our guys, and our guys respect him. They trust him, so they want to work for him, and I think that's what makes him, one of the best out there. And he knows how to build basketball players, and that's what I really enjoy. Is like he understands that we want them very functional. We want to train them in a way that allows them to be out on the floor, feeling good, feeling like they can move and function. And then he also does. We have a great working relationship of like, when I need to back off or when he needs to back off, because he understands what we just did on the floor the day before. And I love the way we're able to work together in that regard.
Coach, how impactful has Lamar been on and off the floor and in and out of practice?
Yeah, I love Lamar. Lamar comes with great energy. He brings a smile on his face every day, and that type of enthusiasm is contagious. And he's one of those guys too. Like he understands this is his last year. I think he's approached every day at a very high level, and he's one of those guys that can be a game changer in terms of like his ability to really score the basketball. And I just like all the other things though that he's brought. You could see on film, his shot making, but all the other intangible things that he's brought has been really good for our team.
Coach, we appreciate you giving us access today to check out your team. I want to ask you, how much are you looking forward to next week getting with your group of guys to go play against somebody else besides themselves when you think about it, and also a chance to build a bond, not just on the court but off the court as well?
Yeah, I'm probably most excited about that. You get a chance because the summertime can get away from you in a hurry. But for us to be able to go on a trip like this and have it be just us for the most part, and then able to just hang with each other and spend some different type of time outside of the basketball court. And you get guys that come in, they're all at different stages of their lives. A lot of them are older guys. They're they don't go out as much anymore and those type of things. So it's for them to kind of be all in a group together in one setting is going to be great for us, and then to get to play those 3 games on top of it. So it should be an awesome trip, fun experience for all of us, and we're looking forward to it.
For Puerto Rico, with the new international guys and maybe guys that are dealing with minor bumps and bruises types of thing, do you have a sense for like how many guys are going to be available starting next week?
Yeah, not completely yet. I wish I had a more clear-cut answer for you. So we'll kind of let that play out as we get closer. We are pretty close, but we still have a few more days here where we'll see what the availability is of everybody.
Coach, you talked about you feel confident in this team's ability to shoot the ball, but I guess in the same breath, its ability to space the floor, understand how to use space, the relationship between ball screens and you know, sort of creating shots with a really experienced team and a lot of guys that probably had to do a lot of that at previous stops wherever they were. Do you feel like this team is maybe further ahead in not just the ability to hit shots, but also understanding where to find them?
Yeah, what I've liked is that the guys seem like they've played together for a lot longer than they have, you know, these 2 months. When you watch the practice tape, it looks like, you know, a group that's been together for 2 or 3 years. The way they've really been moving it and sharing it. I think we got a group that really understands offense as well. They understand, you know, screening and finding, you know, windows to get opportunities to find and locate those shots. But, you know, like I said, they've done a really good job to this point of being unselfish, moving the ball, sharing the ball, taking care of the ball. And then guys have taken care or advantage of those opportunities when they've gotten them. And I do like, you know, the fact that we do have some versatility from a shot-making perspective.
Coach, how nice is it to have Connor's familiarity with your style of play and the way you run your program?
Yeah, Connor's been a great addition for us. You know, he's just one of those guys that you know, I think fans are going to love to watch him play. He just plays so hard. He plays with a fire, and then you know, defensively he really is one of those guys that takes pride in it. And then offensively, he do whatever it takes to win. I know when I had recruited him out of high school, you know, I went and saw him play in a summer game, and he had 0 points and dominated the game. You know, he was diving on the floor, taking charges, making everybody on the other team mad. You know, he was just one of those guys. So he's just a joy to have in practice every day because he brings that energy and he's full out. He doesn't know another way. So I think people are going to really enjoy watching him play.
Coach, the 2 later international additions to the roster, just what, I guess, first, what's the timeline for getting them here with the program? And then just what are you expecting from those guys when they get here? How do they fit with what you're trying to do here?
Yeah, they're going to be tired when they get here. You know, we should have, you know, for sure one of them, maybe, hopefully in the next day or 2, and that's our hope. And then we'll get him acclimated as quickly as possible. And if that means he gets the opportunity to play in Puerto Rico, great. If it doesn't, if we can't get him, you know, close enough there, because the last thing we want to do is, you know, put him in a position where he's just not ready. You know, but that. I'm excited for that. Again, it's just going to add to our depth, getting more guys as we get into the fall. You know, hopefully healthy. Hopefully we can get through Puerto Rico in a good state, and then you know, get some more bodies in here and continue to develop that depth. It's going to be important for us.
You talked about defensive rebounding being a major key for you guys. What are some of the other ones on the defense end that will make you guys successful on the defense end this year?
Yeah, I think we have. I really think we have the ability to be a good defensive team. I think we have some guys that we can be pretty versatile with on the defensive end. You know, we have a ways to go there, and we understand that, and our team understands that. But the rebounding piece is going to be huge, as you said. But I think the second piece is always, you know, ball screen coverage. That's going to be, you know, critical to us, like figuring out for our team as a coaching staff and as players, you know, how to best utilize our personnel and what is going to be most effective for us. And some of that might mean or will mean changing it up some. But those are the things right now as you go through the course of the summer, you experiment a little bit with different types of ball screen coverages and things that, you know, as you get into the fall, and now you really lock into it, you know, what's best for us. But if you can do that, stay in front of the ball, and then defensive rebound, you know, you're going to give yourself a chance every night.
Just a quick follow-up on the injuries with Jason and Nick. Neither of them out long-term then? You anticipate them back sometime this summer, just not sure about the trip?
Yeah, the timeline on both of them is a little up in the air, I guess. So we'll see where that leads. You know, we're obviously hopeful that both of them will be back in a relatively good timeline, but I don't anticipate, you know, with Nick especially, that there'll be something more in the fall. You know, so we'll see how that shakes out as we move forward.
Yeah, obviously you have so many of these guys out here that have so many years of experience. Then you have Trent, who's coming in here as a freshman. Just how far along is he on his development curve, and how impressive you've been by him early on in his college career?
Yeah, I think Trent's done a great job. Those first couple of weeks, he was really impressive. He wasn't one of those guys that came in and looked like a freshman. I think he's learned very quickly, and I don't know if that's just from being around a lot of older guys that he's been able to do that. Because in the summertime, everything is like it's going in warp speed, So we don't wait much, We kind of we throw a lot at them, and then that way they have kind of everything, and then we'll work our way backwards almost, which is for Trent, that's your head can be spinning a little bit. But I think he's done a really good job of coming in, figuring out the college game and the speed of it, and he's adjusted well, and I'm really excited about what he's doing.
I know Tayton was someone you were really excited to get him in the program, just watching his energy out there and just talking to him, gauging personality. Has he acclimated to the program and the system like how you expected, and what's it been like coaching in the last couple of months?
Yeah, he's done some really really good things in practice, and he's a little unique, and he may be one of the most creative guys with the ball in terms of the way he delivers passes, and it's very unconventional. He's one of those guys. I told the coaching staff, you have to let him just go a little bit. And to his credit, though, a lot of times you open the stat sheet after our end of practice, it'll be 6 assists, 1 turnover type stuff, and it's almost impressive that he's able to kind of do it the way he does it and not turn the ball over. So he's almost sometimes I think bored with just the simple play. He likes a little razzle dazzle with it. So, but he does. He's really talented at both ends of the floor. He's really gifted. So I think for us it's just getting that offensively letting him kind of play make the way he knows how to play make, and then defensively he's really got quick hands. He has ability to create steals, turnovers for us. So I'm excited about what he can continue to grow into for this team.
On Sam, what kind of attracted y'all to him, and just what has he just kind of shown here so far?
Yeah, I think Sam gives us a real physical presence, and he has the ability to play inside out. He's long, even though he's not necessarily tall, he's long and plays above kind of his size. So that's what in talking to other people that knew him well and coaches that have coached him before, they've all spoke about those same qualities, and he's done a really good job this summer as well, because we're asking him to kind of continue to expand not only his interior game, but a lot of things on the perimeter as well, where he's got to have the ball in his hands and be able to make passes, make reads, and stretch the floor a little bit. So he's done a nice job in those areas for us.